So hey guys, Artix Flag here. I know I said recently that I wasn't going to do any more videos for a while, but then I came across this. I guess just for a little background, I used to be very into the games made by Artix Entertainment. That's Adventure Quest, Dragon Fable, Adventure Quest Worlds. I think those three were the ones that I mainly played. But I had found them back in I don't know, late middle school, early high school, that era, and I've been playing them ever since, until about 3 years ago, where I just I broke off from Adventure Quest, just kind of gave up on that for a while. Dragon Fable got kind of boring. Played Adventure Quest Worlds for a little while, but eventually I got bored of that too. And for the first time in a couple years now, I have come back to playing Adventure Quest. And this is what I found. There is a, Alright, so a little more history on what you're seeing here. Essentially, I came back because one of my friends... I had been trying to convince them to play these games for a long time, back in middle school, back in high school. Now that I'm finishing up college, that same friend finally decides, oh, I guess I'll check it out, see what there is to see in it. So, basically, when he came back on and started playing it, I decided to give it a shot again. And the first thing I found when I came back was the community talking about a new... It's well, I mean, I guess you can kind of see here, anyway. It's a quest series focusing around references from My Little Pony. It's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed it. Basically the whole point here is that you're trying to help this little shadow cat thing catch what it's calling shadow ponies. It essentially just adds the word shadow to any normal thing that you would normally encounter in the world, and in this case it actually is a whole different little monster that you'll get as a pet if you finish the quest. Which is what I'm trying to do here. Trying to think. This was literally the day that I came back. So I hadn't picked up this character in a good 2 years at least. No, probably 3 years now. But as soon as I got on, I promptly went into the Necromancer class again because it was pretty much my favorite one to use, and almost immediately died. So now I'm a Lich, and that's what I'll be playing through the rest of the quest as. Let me just see. As you can see here, I had the Paladin armor on right before that, just to get the little dog pet whose name I forget. But he's proven to be really useful in the past, so I figured it's a place full of shadows and shadow monsters, so yeah, little light dog thing couldn't hurt to have. Turns out light doesn't actually affect these things very much. So yeah. It was still nice to have something else there attacking that didn't cost any SP to use or anything, but really essentially anything would have been just fine. The light made no difference whatsoever. And aside from that, I'm also using the gong from the original Clan Wars thing that happened. Again, this is me coming back after 3 years of being away from this, so I'm sorry if I forget what some of this stuff is. So anyway, I'll probably speed this up in a minute here, just because this gets very repetitive very fast. I think I only encountered about 3 different types of monsters in here? No, maybe 4. But 4 different types of monsters for all of the ingredients that you have to find. And you have to fight 2 monsters before you get a chance at finding each ingredient. The chance involves trying to roll for luck, I believe it is. I don't think mine's particularly high. It's probably around like 60 or so. I'm sure I'll scroll over it in a second here at some point. And as you can see, I missed with that, so the poison did not take effect. Not that it would have done much anyway. I barely ever use my actual spells. Usually I just use the class armor skills and everything. Let's see. The only exception to that is I have one from when they did a Magic the Gathering promotion on here, which gives you some huge healing if you use it, and if you crit on it, I think it actually gives you extra healing potions too, or refills your potions or something. But anyway, that's beside the point. Point being, I don't usually use the spells in the spell book there. So here you can see the 3 different attacks that you have as a Lich. It's Drain, which, well, as it sounds, drains some of the enemy's health, gives you health, and uses up a little bit of your MP. I've never actually used it so many times that it's gotten down to 0, so I don't know what happens after it's at 0, but I'd have to assume the healing effect at least doesn't work. The other one that I use occasionally here is Terror, which sends out a beam of all sorts of different elemental magic. Oh, and here's one of the luck checks, which, surprise surprise, I fail. However, and this is new from after however long it's been that I've been away, you can actually defy a failed roll now if you have enough SP to wager for it. So hopefully that means I won't run into the problem that I was constantly running into in the old days, where I would just continuously fail my rolls like that and have to redo them over and over and over again. But yeah, I think I still fail at least one in here, to the point where I can't even defy it or anything. So anyway, as I was saying, Terror is the other attack that I use in here occasionally, like when I'm not using the final attack for the Lich. It's basically just a multi-elemental beam attack, which if the last few elements hit, there's a small chance that you'll actually freeze the enemy solid for a turn or two. It's a nice one to have, and it also occasionally lowers the enemy's defenses, because they're just so terrified of whatever it is that you're shooting at them. Here it is. Yeah, so like Ice, Darkness, I couldn't quite tell what some of the other ones were, they flashed by really fast. But I think the Ice and Darkness ones are the important ones, especially the Ice. If that hits, I believe it can occasionally freeze, and it does happen a few times during this video. I'll see if I can find it once we start speeding this along. And then the last attack is just... I actually forget what it's called, even though it's flashed up on the screen a bunch of times. It's Undead something or other. I think it's like Assault or something. Yeah, Undead Assault. And that just summons a small party of Necromancer minions to come and attack the target with whatever equipment you have equipped. So whatever sword and shield you have on, they rush in and do 3 different attacks to them with it. So in this case it's the Wandering Blade for wind damage, since it's weak against wind. Okay, so anyway, the whole reason that I did this was because the friend of mine that I was trying to get into this is a really big brony, so I figured if I could show him this, and maybe that would give him something to look forward to a little later on down the line. These games have been amazing as far as putting in references to anything that's popular, and quite a few things that aren't. I'm trying to think, just off the top of my head, the Evil Dead references throughout all of their games are just fantastic, and very numerous. And yeah, it's something that I think the creators absolutely love, that movie, or series of movies, and it really shows in the games. But anyway, almost every and now I'm using a different weapon which has all sorts of special attacks on its own, which have nothing to do with your class or anything, they just occasionally happen. Including one which instantly kills any enemy that you're fighting. However, I think it's only got like a 1% chance of ever happening. So you're not going to see it in this video, unfortunately. It only seems to happen when I don't really need it. Normally when I'm fighting something really low level. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, references. There are all sorts of references throughout this to pop culture things and whatnot. Almost every item, every spell, anything like that, they all have to do with something that's popular in either internet culture or nerd culture, or movies, video games, anything like that. So yeah. If I can fast forward to the next part here, where we can get a good look at that list again. The list of ingredients that I'm trying to find is essentially just a written out version of Pinkie Pie's cupcake making song from the show, with the word shadow put in front of every ingredient, which I think the character actually brings up at the beginning there, but since I was talking over that entire dialogue and everything, and don't intend to actually go back because I doubt anyone's actually going to be watching this video, aside from me and a few friends, yeah, we'll just assume that he said something back at the beginning. Yeah, so I think from here I'm just going to skip ahead. Fast forward this. I don't think my luck holds out for much longer after this roll. From here I think I start failing them. Here's that list of ingredients again, and I accidentally covered it up. So yeah, they did a beautiful job on that little reference there, and no, I am not going to sing it. Back to the fights. God damn it. And so we have to do that one all over again. Hooray, just like in the old days. Okay, much better. And now all we need is a shadow timer. Okay. So, once more, through all of this. And we're back. So that was the Shadow Dragon getting frozen. That was me once again failing a roll, but this time I could actually defy it. So now we are done. So nothing left but the final cutscene. I'll just let you guys enjoy that. I think I paced it out well enough that you should be able to read these without having to pause it every couple seconds. If I were actually good at doing this sort of thing, I would just read my own lines myself so that you could have it in my voice and everything. But since I doubt anyone watching this wants that, including me, I'll just let you read them in your own voice. Enjoy! So, from this point here, you can just go into the shop and select whatever type of pony you want to have with you from now on. Now, just going through the list, I'm seeing a whole lot that I cannot afford, nor could I use even if I could afford them. So, let's go with one of these lower level ones. Let's see. Pegasus, normal pony. I guess we'll go with the unicorn. Okay, so there we go. My tiny shadow unicorn. I'm sure Hasbro has no problems with this in any way. Anyway, good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys.